Hi,
My name is Woo Ji-yoon.
My name is Kim Jong-seop.
my name is Choi Ji-won.
And my name is Hwang Chi-oh.
Now we are going to talk about how to build your personal brand in Wikipedia. So Ji-yoon, define personal branding.
Personal brand is to brand oneself as other brand, such as Coca-Cola or etc. People can utilize their brand to introduce or influence others. Okay, then Woo Ji-yoon, how have some people become famous from personal branding?
According to the passage, President of the US, Donald Trump, uses his last name on his building, and Kim Kardashian, who is very influential in the market, also has a strong personal brand.
Yes. Siwon, explain the history of personal branding and how it got started.
Personal branding was first introduced in 1937 in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The idea surfaced later in the 1981 book Positioning the Battle for Your Mind by Al Rice and Jack Trout. The key principle is don't try to do everything yourself. Find a horse to ride. It was later popularized by Tom Peters. Also, the term is thought to have been first used and discussed in a 1997 article by Tom Peters. And then branding has reached a new level because of the rise of the internet. So, Jong-seop, how have employers learned about their job applicant?
Employers use social media tools to vet applicants before offering them interviews. Such techniques range from searching the applicant's Facebook or Twitter, SMS feed, to conducting large background checks using search engines or other tools.
Then, what do job seekers do instead of using resumes?
Job seekers uses personal brand assets. Personal brand assets are likely to include resumes. It links to a carefully managed LinkedIn profile or a personal blog, evidence of articles which disseminate original ideas on industry blogs, and evidence of having an online following. Such efforts give job seekers better odds of being noticed by potential employers.
Now we are going to talk about building a personal brand by Jacob Cass on YouTube. So Ji-yoon, what shocking experience occurred to Jacob Cass in just 2 months?
He was denied to stay and work in US, so he tried to get visa again, was denied also. So he returned to Australia. In Australia, he tried the visa once more and finally succeeded to get it. When he went back to New York, he found a job online 2 times in 2 months and also lost 2 times in 2 months. Woo Ji-yoon, what are 3 ways to build your personal foundation according to him? Give some details.
The first way to build our personal foundation is by defining your goal. Specifically, we have to consider what goal we have to achieve, whom to sell, and a unique selling point that differentiates with other brands. And lastly, a nice visual identity. And second way is by creating our own website. There must be a photo of ourselves that represents who we are, and there must be a navigation of where to go on the website. And lastly, we have to utilize our networks. By making our blogs and SNS accounts, such as Facebook or Twitter, we can show other people the way they can connect or contact to us.
So Jiwon, how do you communicate the above-mentioned personal foundation platforms in 3 ways?
Be genuine, provide value, and build a culture. You should be yourself. By sharing what you know with other people and give advice then they will appreciate. Also, they pass your links and build a culture. It means pushing to want to listen to you.
Now it's time to discuss about 5 questions we have prepared. I'll start with question 1. So what is the best way to use SNS services in making personal brand effectively?
I think I have to show something that I can do my best job. I must not lie something. And honest passion is the most important things to use SNS services effectively.
I think the best way to use SNS is in marketing personal brand is posting articles about your unique advantage or about what you're interested in regularly. It will be piled up and be very helpful career sometime.
I think the best way is by using advertisements in SNS to broadcast my personal brand. It's because people will see ads very frequently in SNS and it will be aimed in their head.
What do you think about an online identity that may not be completely true to the real self because of personal branding?
I think that that's not desirable situation. In personal branding, it's very important to be genuine and showing one's own personality, not fake personality. So in personal branding, we should find our advantage at specific area and show it truly instead of deceiving people.
I think it doesn't have to be completely true in case of profile photo. We can use profile photo to make our face more attractive. However, I strongly disagree that the personal brand give people fake information about their brands because it is deceiving the customers.
I also think that personal brand can give people some fake information. Even if at online people may cover their real personality with some kind of mask, so it could be happening online too.
My question is, if you were Jacob Kans, what would you like to do with your SNS to get a job?
If I were Jacob Cass, I'd like to hire SNS stars by paying them money and let them publicize who I am and that I am an adequate person to get a job.
If I were Jacob, I would like to promote myself and first get lots of followers first in SNS world. Then it will be much easier to find job.
If I were Jacob, first I turn my account into open to anyone. Then I'm gonna write things that I want to get a job. Also, I will search others' account who wants to employ someone.
So my question is, what are the famous recent personal branding and how are they using?
I would like to talk about the example of Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader. He often shows up his muscular power with SNS, and he is using it to boost his popularity and win at vote.
I know the power blogger Kiara Terabini. She's a famous stylist. She learned her own brand, Kira Ferrari, same as her name. It becomes a very popular brand. People want her image and about her fashion, everything. So that's why her brand can be successful.
I think Kim Yana is a good example of this. Kim Yana's mother is managing sports brand and employed Kim Yana as model. By Kim Yana's existing image, customers bought more products of the brand and the brand was success.
So it is the final question. So do you think, is it justifiable for companies seeking for applicants' SNS accounts in order to know about them?
When applicants don't log the account, then it's okay. But when he or she turns your account into private, and the employers will see it by not legal way, then it's not justifiable.
I think so too. I think it's justifiable since SNS is open space. The companies can know about the applicant's social ability, which is important when the applicants be employed and work at the company. Well,
I think it is not justifiable because applicants can give fake information and there's not enough proof to prove whether they are right or wrong. So the company doesn't really have to rely on the personal brand in a sense. Now each of us will define our brand and make a plan on how to build it.
For me, I would like to make my brand image as trustworthy and reliable. To make the image, I'll be careful not to be in hurry. Since personal brand is not being made fast, I need to try the image making in the long-term process. So I will try to give some help to other people and quietly notify and uphill my candidates or working ability. I will use AES and service I bit, but mainly try to utilize people's network to spread kind of hearsay.
I think writing can be my brand. I'm good at writing. I was chief journalist when I was in high school. Also, I entered university by writing. In Korea, private educational institute is very developed. Many students want to take the class. I will be a writing teacher, also use my own writing webpage, and upload some tips for entrance writing exams. It can be easier than other ways to become famous by writing. When I'm getting famous, I'm gonna upload various genre of writing like criticism, journey, and so on. I want to make me as a position to lead about writing. Like anyone who see my writing, they feel in touch.
I'd like to build my brand as introducing good music. Since I like to listening to music, I want to find people whose music preference are similar with me and enjoy and share together. So I like to build an SNS account which I can post about my favorite music, metaphors of its lyric and behind story of it, and so on. And when my account is big enough, I'll make a web page where people can share their favorite musics. Yes.
My brand identity will be about caring. Specifically means sharing information about disabled people and how we should help them. In order to build my brand, I have to be influential in the field of disabled people. Therefore, what I have to do in the first place is to gain knowledge about disabled. After I have enough information about them, I will meet a lot of people who work in this field. Lastly, I will find a job in UNICEF so that I can be influential in this field and make a blog for disabled and poor people. In this way, people can share information and disabled people can also get donated from other people from this blog.
I